My name is Aidan Kearney, also known as Turtleboy.
He is a senior editor for Turtleboy Daily News.
I'm a big My name is Aidan Kearney, also known as Turtleboy.
He is a senior editor for Turtleboy Daily News.
I'm a big fan.
We've broken hundreds of stories that the mainstream media won't touch.
Some blogger in Massachusetts who's getting to the bottom of this better than anybody.
Why is it Turtleboy that is covering such important issues? Where is the rest of the media?
You did not say that you were going to take my baby out of her vent and make him a transgender baby.
Stop it.
Don't you want to ask some questions? I know you do.
I do. I
know
you do.
People don't like the things that I say and want me to stop saying them, but I won't. I'm never going to stop. These are the kind of stories that must be told.
It's go, 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 go time. Tick, tick, boom. Bring that noise. Go, baby, we bringing out toys. Separating from the boys. Chopper be singing, should be on the voice. Bang, bang, we gon' ride out. Gang, gang, we don't die out. Want it like this, ain't no timeouts. Tell me who really gon' find out. We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. Tick, tick, boom. Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wildin'. You must be blind by the diamonds. I done want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this. So it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's going quiet. We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. Woo! It's go, 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 go time. Tick, tick, boom. You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. Woo! It's go, 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 go time. Tick, tick, boom.
Boom. What's up, Turtle Riders? How's everyone doing out there tonight? Good, good, excellent. Welcome to the live show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your fearless host. They call me, my real name is Aidan. You can call me Clarence, or you can call me Uncle Turtleboy. Some people call me that. I actually prefer doctor, because if Joe Biden's a doctor, then so am I. That's my Twitter account handle too, at Dr. Turtleboy. That's at DOCTOR Turtleboy. So follow me on there. We just recently passed 50,000 followers, so that's pretty cool. 50,200 actually. So getting close to 100. I was banned from Twitter for a few years, and now it's my largest platform. So follow me on there. I will never call it X. I will never, ever, ever call it X. It will always be Twitter to me. I won't do it. I won't do it. I refuse. So you have called me daddy since day one. You can call me daddy too. Some people have started calling me daddy. Kind of like it. I'm not going to lie. It has a nice ring to it. Even though some people might find that creepy, you are not required to call me daddy. But you are required to be here every Tuesday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. sharp for the live show. So I would recommend that. I would also recommend that you smash that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Help us get to 50,000 subs. I think we're at like 48,000, almost 300 now. I will not be calling you daddy. I know. Some people just can't imagine. Some people don't mind. Let me pull this down a little. Not centered here. Hold on. Yeah, that's a little better. Okay, cool. I hate it when the head's like way down there, but anyway, glad I can't miss your show. It's great. Love to hear it. Love to hear it every Tuesday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. Okay. So yeah, smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bells, because you never know when I'm going to do an impromptu live. And I haven't been to Canton in a long time. I need to get back. I know these orders have prevented me from hosting my usual protests outside of D&E Pizza. But there's other parts of Canton that need to be protested. So speaking of, there is a protest coming up in Canton on Sunday. I've sent the organizers a link to join me later on in the program. They're going to come on here and they're going to talk about it. They'll tell you all about it. It's like a march on Sunday. I'll try to make an appearance there. But I miss protesting, man. I haven't protested in a long time. We haven't had a Karen Reed hearing in a long time. We have one coming up on January 5th. That's less than a month away. It's really like 3 weeks away when you think about it. So that's going to be interesting. I don't care how cold it is that day. I'll be leading the protest for sure because I'm allowed to. You do that. You go do that if you want felonies. No, I mean, that's the thing. You're allowed to protest. I don't know where this idea came from. You can't protest. You can protest in the town of Canton. I'm not banned from the town of Canton. Remember, isn't that what the government argued? He can protest all he wants. This is stay away orders. Don't stop him from doing anything. Okay. If you say so. But anyway, so I'll be back soon. Don't you worry about that. They can't again. I can't wait to beat this. This is like temporary setback. I just look at this like there's no fucking way we're gonna lose. There's no way in hell we're gonna lose. There's no way Karen's gonna lose. There's no way I'm gonna lose. There's no way the Canton 9 are gonna lose. We are gonna win. We are gonna win because that's what you do. That's what you do when you have the law on your side. That's what you do when you have God on your side. And I'm ready. I'm ready to fuck. Let's go. Daddy is ready. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be getting to that January 5th. I believe it's at 9 a.m., but I will double check that and make sure of it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I agree with Cody on that one. Arresting Turtleboy was a final Hail Mary for sure. Okay. If anyone wants to support the program, you can do so by clicking at the link at the top. That's to something called Turtle Chat. We can't do the super chat because we had the wrong opinions about the vaccine mandate a couple of years ago, which is no biggie because they take 40% or 30% anyway, which is way too much. So we just built our own platform called Turtle Chat. If you click at the link at the top, that brings you to something called Turtle Chat. You can donate whatever amount of money you want. When you do that, you can donate, or you can write a message. I will get the message in my inbox. I will read it out loud to the class. Or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtleboy. I'll get a notification on my phone, and we can do it that way. So got a couple Turtle Chats already. These are a couple actually leftovers here. Erica, the other night sent $50 at the buzzer, so I didn't get it in. She said, I may need to apologize to Eric Hanlon at Ravis. It has been brought to my attention by several people that Eric Bell is just Eric Bell with some issues and trying to portray himself as someone else. Either way, everyone should avoid conversation with Eric Bell. Eric Bell is a nut job. Definitely avoid Eric Bell at all costs. Okay. Next up, Tammy yesterday sent 25 and said, God bless Karen and John, and thank you. Thank God, Aidan, for you and what you've done for Karen. I'm going to work on those chicken parm t-shirts. I laugh so hard listening to you that you are what's called in the Army hardcore. Okay, I'm hardcore. God bless you and your family. Thank you very much, Tammy. It's very, very sweet of you. Very nice. Mike from Norwell says, never stop, brother. That's the plan. I never plan on stopping. Never plan on stopping. Alicia sends $15, and she says, I think no one in the house in speaking, because if one person speaks, they will all get arrested on joint venture. They were probably told by that owner or his sister-in-law. That's true, but like, why? I mean, not all. I don't know. We'll see. You might be onto something there. I don't know. Okay. Any other Turtle Chats? Okay, cool. Again, click the link is at the top for Turtle Chat if you want to donate, or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtleboy, whichever you prefer. Do we have any cash apps? No. Okay, cool. Not yet. All right, cool. All right. Hey, look at so real quick, some just housekeeping stuff here. So I want to rant about something for a minute. So that other group, the Justice Group, today posted something about the CNN article, and I posted it on our group about it, and it's just like, okay, just want to address this real quick. So look at there's two groups, right? and of which is confusing because and this is exactly why I was hoping for one group, is because I know that her attorneys would probably prefer, because I know that they monitor all this shit, and I'm pretty confident that they would prefer one centralized location where all of the information is kept, because they connect. If you don't think they monitor this shit, I don't think you quite understand how diligent these people are in their work. So the other justice group, not the real group, exactly. So on that, and it's not drama. It's helping the cause. If you have one group that doesn't allow fundraising for Karen Reed, then how can you call it a free Karen Reed group? As a matter of fact, they have changed the name of the group. Blanca Guzman King, the mentally unstable admin of that group, whoever she is, posted a new thing for it. It just says Justice for John now, which obviously we want, but that is clearly a shot at Karen Reed. And I've seen a lot of people in that group recently. There's been a lot of anti-Karen Reed posts. That page frequently shares stuff from Krusty Panties. So I would call that, the people who run that page are very hostile to Karen Reed. And that's just a fact. And they've expressed privately to me that they no longer believe that she's innocent. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm not kidding. Like the other day, there was a post about like the O'Keefes are welcome here. They said the O'Keefes are welcome here. People are saying she didn't change the name. I'm looking at that thing right now. It said that they've updated the group cover photo. It just says Justice for John. It doesn't say Justice for John and Karen. It just says Justice for John. So, I mean, we want justice for John. We also want justice for Karen, because Karen is facing life in prison for that. And it's clearly a shot. I don't give a fuck what the name of the official title of the group is. It's like, if you don't think that's a subtle shot at Karen Reed, then you don't understand just how vindictive these cunts are. And that group has, it's kind of turned into like a burn book page about Turtleboy. It's turned into like, we have a message. What does this say? Oh, hold on 1 second. Let me see this. Message to Blanca. It's not coming up. Okay, I'm waiting to get it. Okay, hopefully it comes through. But anyway, it's and that group also, Sean in the Gulf left it a while ago. Let's see. Here's a message to Blanca that I'm getting here. No one, because that group had allowed a post up last week that said like justice for the O'Keefe, or the O'Keefes are welcome here. It said the O'Keefes are welcome here, including Peggy and Paul, who are the leaders, by the way, of the Karen Reed is guilty movement, who have the power singularly to alter this. If they don't have the family support, they have nothing. So don't tell them, oh, the O'Keefes are welcome here. You're allowing hostile people. That's what you're saying to the group. That's what you're going to say. Okay, cool. That's what you're saying. And so it's saying here that no one has invested more time, in the justice for, John movement. Like who has done more to get justice for John O'Keefe? Karen Reed or John O'Keefe's family? Who has done more to get justice for John O'Keefe? You answer me that. And I think it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Karen Reed has done significantly more. Her legal team has uncovered shit that John O'Keefe's family never would have found out. Because they couldn't be bothered. If it weren't for Alan Jackson and David Yannetti and Liza Little and Karen herself and her family doing all that, then, so don't post. If you're posting that the O'Keefes are welcome here, you might as well post unless they change the O'Keefes are welcome here if they no longer support this fraudulent prosecution. That's what I would say. Until then they don't belong here. So stop. And they're always anonymous too. They're always anonymous. Today there was an anonymous post on there. Let me read it to you. All right. This is what the post said. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. All right. I am one of hundreds or so people who came to this group after being directed from a great CNN article written about this tragedy this past Sunday. Unfortunately, I just Elizabeth Little, not Liza. No, they call her Liza. They call her Liza. But unfortunately, I just read some quirky blog from this turtle guy ripping the article apart. So first of all, I didn't rip the article apart. If you actually read what I wrote about the CNN article, I said, yeah, there's some parts that I would prefer be in there, like Michael Proctor. But as far as mainstream media goes, this one's one of the better ones, and it's got the biggest audience. And most importantly, it makes the McCabe's and the Alberts look bad because they don't comment on it. They say that their lawyers couldn't be reached or they had no comment or something, which is just immediately a red flag to the millions of unbiased people who will now read that article. It was the #1 most read article on CNN on Sunday. So that's a great thing. So I said good. I'm like, it wasn't bad. It was for as far as that could have been a little better. I guess everything could be better, but we can't expect perfection here. We should take what we can get. And so that's how I know this is bullshit, this anonymous person. And this post got approved by the admins. The admins on that page, as far as I know right now, are basically who are running the page. It's that crazy Blanca woman and another woman named Jessica Fellini Sheridan, who is also, I've had conversations with her before, unbalanced and like borderline, like I don't want to be mean, but like borderline short bus, like talking to this person. And she also has a crazy, insane sister named Kristen, who about 4 months ago, I didn't write a story about this. I was going to, but it was the most insane shit I've ever seen in my life. The shit she was sending me, like sending me stuff about that there was like some guy in town who's going around raping dozens of kids. Like there's this serial child rape, like Jerry Sandusky on steroids is in Canton and just raping kids everywhere. And I'm like, you know what? Do you have any evidence of that before I write a story about it? So Kristen got my attention. This is the admin sister. She goes by Kristen Marie on Facebook. And I was going to publish, like, you should see the messages. They're fucking bonkers. She messaged the page and she's like, I have a big story to tell you about the FBI and Karen Reed. And I'm like, okay, well, let's hear it. And then all she wanted to talk about was her bullshit about like, and she apparently got in contact with the FBI agent who's investigating Karen Reed and wasted her time on some insane pedo fucking ring going on in Canton that clearly, let's be honest, doesn't fucking exist. There's no fucking guy going around raping kids all over Canton. I'm sorry. I don't fucking believe that Canton has an epidemic of child rape. I don't believe that. That is insane. I believe that one guy got killed and they covered that up. That's believable. Again, like dozens of children being gang raped. Oh, nobody figured it out. No parents did anything. Nobody got caught. This guy's just walking around. Stop it. And I'm like, do you have any evidence of this? No. You don't fucking believe me? You don't fucking believe me? Why don't you care? Why don't you care? Oh, it was just madness. It was fucking madness. And like, she just went off on me. And I'm like, okay, who are you? And I didn't write it because her sister, Jessica, talked me out of it. And then that group starts allowing all these posts to go up that are like anti-Karen Reed, because that's what the O'Keefe shit is. Like, if you're like, the O'Keefes are welcome here, that's a shot at Karen Reed. Taking down her name off the thing, that's a shot at Karen Reed. All right. And all these fucking posts, like they allowed a post about me about 2 weeks ago about like my personal life. And she's like, I thought you would like it. It was funny. Why the fuck would I like that? What the fuck is wrong with you? So anyway, and I asked her straight up, I asked Jessica, I said, who posted this? Who's the anonymous? I can't tell you. Oh, you can't tell me? You know why she can't tell me? Because it was her. It was fucking her. I guarantee it was her. And then today, this post goes up and she tells people that the feds are the ones that posted this. This is what she's posting. Like, so the following thing, this is what she said about it. She said that a federal agent wrote that post. Like, that's what she posted. That a federal agent posted this. Okay. When it's probably her. Like, let's be honest, it's probably her. And that she said that is the direction that the feds want the page to go, like, away from Turtleboy. So the feds are now running that page. This is what she says. So this is the kind of, like, if you're on that page, just understand this is who's in charge of it. Okay. Do whatever you want. But I was blown away by all the support I got on this post too. Like the 99% of people told them like, fuck off. But it's like, what is wrong with these people? It goes on to say, the guy admits the article reached millions of people worldwide, and yet he appears to be crying that he wasn't featured as the main contributor. Definitely didn't say that. I don't care. Like, I'm like, I actually was mentioned in the article. That was kind of funny. So there's that. I understand he was one of the first to report on this case, and by all accounts has done a great job. But to discredit a true journalist over her work is unacceptable. Oh, sure thing, commenter. If Karen Reed is truly tied to this guy, she and her team better cut ties now. He is a complete narcissist and clearly is making this case all about him, not her. Did I miss that? I didn't ask to be arrested, guys. I did not ask for these mugshots to happen. This was not the plan. If anyone else wanted to step up and lead the Free Karen Reed movement in April, they were welcome to. I saw a good story, which I feel passionate about because I believe this woman is completely innocent and I believe the system is framing her. And I find that to be problematic. Actually, I find it to be a lot more than problematic. I find it to be a complete injustice that I'm willing to dedicate all of my time to. And they say, well, you make money off of this, Turtleboy. You make money off of this. Welcome to America. People make fucking money because they have bills to pay. Welcome to grown-up world. People have to make money to make a fucking living. This was not my plan. I did not see this as like a major moneymaker. I thought I would write this story and it would be over in a day or two. I thought the charges would get dropped. That's what I assumed. I assumed the charges would get dropped. So if you want to talk about me making money, talk to the district attorney's office. They had the power. If the district attorney's office dropped this case in April, I would be done. There would be no fucking gigantic movement here. There would be no documentary coming up. There would be like none of the Donos, like everything I would have gone back to Ratchets or God knows what. They're the reason it's happening, not me. I'm going to continue to fight as long as this is going on. I'll never stop. So like, talk to them. I didn't ask Jennifer Koenig to come up every time one of these I didn't ask to get arrested. I didn't ask to sell thousands of these t-shirts. I didn't ask for that. They keep putting money in my pocket with their bullshit. You understand that? I didn't ask for this. Okay. And she's like, the one sister, Kristen's like, oh, show us how much you make. Oh, and one guy was like, why don't you tell us how much you make? She's like, I make 135,000. Way to miss the fucking point, moron. Way to miss the point. As if we have a right to go around and be like, how much do you make? How much do you make? I don't know. How much do you fucking make? I mean, this idea that this fucking matters, as if it matters how much money a person's making. I'm writing about this story. I would write this story if I was making $500 a week. I wouldn't give a shit. But anyway, happy to do it. I've been making money for a long time before Karen Reed. Not as much, clearly, but I was doing okay for myself. And I also have, by the way, like $125,000 in legal fees for one case, not to mention all the multiple other lawsuits that I'm in. But yeah, who gives a shit about that? I had one idiot the other day was like accusing me of, what was she saying? Oh, you haven't spent that much money. You said that you were paid up. You were paid up with the thing. So let me explain how this works. You pay a deposit. You have a flat fee. If I was charging hourly, the bill would be significantly more than that. So you pay a flat fee and I pay basically half. Okay. And then we file a motion to dismiss. If it doesn't get past the motion to if it gets dismissed, then I don't know the rest. That's the agreement that we have. If it does, then we see it all the way through. It goes all the way through appeals, indictments, whatever. That's the agreement that we have. Not that it's anyone's business, but I don't give a shit. I have nothing to hide. Anyway, yeah, I think Jane was the one saying that, right? On Twitter. Yeah, Jane was saying that. But I'm just like, so these people are, and I'm like, interesting. I said to Jane the other day, interesting. Anyway, I guess that account's gone now, but it keeps going. I see him as a liability for Miss Reed. I wonder if Jane posted this actually. He is facing criminal charges and has led others down the same road to being charged also. If the story wants traction in the real world, this turtle guy needs to find a lane and stay in it and accept the fact that his job is done. I would argue that what's the Kearney defense fund up to, 240 grand. I would argue that I had a decent amount to do with that. I'm just saying. Because like the Nick Rocco and Jenna Rocco have done a tremendous job raising that money. Where did they read about the story? Turtleboy, right? I mean, no, the story was out there for 15 months. No one was talking about it. I made it a big deal. Happy to do it. Would do it again in a second. It's the right thing to do. This woman is innocent. And if we didn't raise all that money for her, by the way, she probably would have like got foreclosed on. Because how the fuck is she going to pay her mortgage with no goddamn income coming in? And how is she going to pay all these what do you think? Rick Green works for free? These people's plan is to just bleed her dry. All this DNA testing that they have to do on their own. Who do you think fucking pays for that? Not the Commonwealth. Not the Commonwealth. So yeah, that's the kind of shit that they allow over there. And it is what it is. They're just trashy, disgusting people. Yeah, Twisted Tragedy just disappeared. Exposed her. She's gone. See ya. But anyway, speaking of con artists, so some people tipped me off to this program called what's it called? The Police Off the Cuff. I'll show you right here. He did a show the other night. He's like I don't know if he's a boomer or what he is. And a lot of people vouch for this guy. This guy's he's a good guy. He's decent. We got to get him on his show. He's got like 56,000 subs, but these videos only get a few hundred viewers. Like, it's bizarre. He's got more subs than me, but like no traffic. And like, obviously you see here, it's just a guy with no lighting or anything. Like, he just sits in front of a thing.
With some of the doubt that is being created by her defense attorneys, they're doing an outstanding job at this point. I want to play a little more of this from Court TV just to show what the mood in the town is like and how this is the environment in which this case is going to be tried. Took the side of Karen Reed. And this has a lot to do with a podcast by someone named Turtleboy.
Ooh, me.
Who pointed a finger at the Boston Police Department.
No, Canton Police Department.
This is all
state police
connected with different officers. Of course, I mentioned that Brian Albert was also a Boston police officer.
Yes, definitely pointing
the
finger at
others
them.
were involved in law enforcement, and what they are alleging is a cover-up by the Boston Police Department.
Oh,
and on
that's
the
Boston magazine.
That, they're saying that this is absolutely a cover-up, and that the police have done all of this covering up to protect one of their own and to basically.
So anyway, he sounds open-minded there, and so people like he's going to do a stream about this, and you should check it out. Like he doesn't sound there like he's going to be like anti-Turtleboy or whatever. And then he invites onto his show Jennifer Kofendafer, which is never a good idea. Okay. And so we're going to watch this now. Okay. And this guy he blocked me on his thing last night. I've tried to comment and send him messages. He doesn't message back because I'm willing to have a conversation. So his name is Bill Cannon. I just want to say to Bill Cannon that I come in peace. I am willing to have a respectful conversation with you. I think you've gotten the wrong impression of me based on, I think Jennifer Kofendafer clearly, because you sound like a reasonable person in that clip. You don't sound reasonable in the one you did Sunday night. And the fact that the things you said about me were like angry, like you've never talked to me before. You don't know me. You don't know much at all. However, I'm willing to have a conversation with you about this. And I just wonder what you're afraid of. What are you afraid of a conversation for? Like I'm a 41-year-old, almost 42-year-old man with a family. Like I'm not some trash bag. I have a normal life. I used to be a teacher for 11 years. I was well respected in the community, still am. And I just wonder why are you afraid of a conversation with me about this? I know all about the case. I've been dedicated the last eight months of my life to researching it, writing about it, talking about it. So maybe you got the wrong impression of me, and I'm not trying to burn a bridge. Because I would like to have a conversation with you about it. I like to educate people that clearly don't know much, which is you right now. Let's be honest. So I want to set that out right away. This is not like I'm not here to burn Bill. Okay. But I'm here to offer him the truth, which clearly he doesn't want to hear. So, okay. Yeah. And he got destroyed in the comments. And the sign of a boomer, the number one sign of a boomer is they don't react to getting ratioed. Like it happens all the time. Kofin Dafer on all of her tweets gets ratioed to fuck. Ratioed to kingdom come. Which for those of you who are unfamiliar with that term means, it means you get an a high amount of replies in comparison to likes. Like likes should outnumber replies by 10 to 20 times. That's a normal tweet. 10 to 20 times. But on her tweets, it's like replies almost always outnumber likes. Like Kevin from Yellow Cottage, he gets ratioed every time he posts. Like he can't help it. And it's just funny because another classic sign of a boomer, right, is they get ratioed and they're just like, well, I can't be wrong. It's like that Principal Skinner meme. Could I possibly be wrong? No. Everyone else must be wrong. So they see all these people in the comments saying this stuff and they're like, no, I can't be the problem. Yeah. Kevin just doesn't care. He is embracing just being fucking retarded. Like he is bracing retardation. And his reaction to the ratio exactly was cheap insults. And the Glare did a great stream on him last night. I watched it on my way to court today. Oh, by the way, special announcement. So I went to court today in Stoughton to see Krusty Panties, who is the spokesperson for the McAlberts, because she was set to be arraigned today on yet another violation of a harassment prevention order against the daughter of a Boston police officer who she stalked and threatened for a year, had an order placed on her. She then violated that order 2 days later, was charged in West Roxbury District Court, tried to have the charges dismissed, failed, ended up taking a continuance without a finding after admitting guilty to sufficient facts. And all you have to do to get the quaff to go away in this state is just don't get arrested again. Don't get charged again for a year. That's it. Just don't get charged with a crime again for a year. It's not brain surgery, but it was for her. It was for her because she ended up getting violating her order against this woman at my arraignment. She went to my arraignment and the victim was there too. And when that happens, you got to leave. And she wouldn't leave. So she ended up getting charged. The Stoughton police called me. I'm now a witness in that case because I was in shackles watching this occur. And I'm like, oh, why is she still? Oh, they're both here. That's interesting. And so she got charged. She thought that the charges wouldn't stick. They did. And she was to be arraigned today in Stoughton District Court. So I drive down there and I see I'm sitting in there and she was in there with some guy. Oh my God. I wish I could have taken a picture of this guy. I have never seen so much acne on a grown man ever. Like this guy, like it's like I assume it's the new boyfriend, whoever this is, like the new guy, because the last guy, tried to knife her kid and is facing some charges himself. He assaulted me outside of a courtroom. That's a good no-no. That's a big no-no. So he's being charged. Anyways, this guy looked like his face looked like the moon. So many craters on it. So I guess they matched. I guess they have that in common. It's like it's like a Chinese checkers board. Like that's how many craters are on this guy's face. And so we sit down. Kevin Reddington comes in. And I'm like, we talked to him. I love Kevin Reddington, by the way. We got off on the wrong foot. He has a tremendous amount of respect for me and vice versa. So I got nothing against Kevin Reddington. He's my boy now. Okay. So I want to clear that up. And we waved to each other. We said hello. And I'm like, wait a minute. Is he here to defend her? I messaged him afterwards. He is not there to defend her. And within 10 minutes, they came out and I'm there as a witness and to support the victim. And they were like, we are moving this case to Plymouth County. And I said, why? He's like, it just happens sometimes. Okay. And it made sense. Why? Because number one, it's the only thing. I'm a witness. Because I'm a witness in this case, I'm the star witness in this case. How can I be a star witness? Like, this is the same. So I'm going to be assisting the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office, which is ultimately prosecuting this case. That's a conflict. I'm assuming that's the problem because I'm being charged in that same courthouse. So they're moving into Plymouth, which is fine by me. A little bit longer of a drive. They didn't say which court. There are 4 district courts in Plymouth County: Brockton, Hingham, Plymouth, and Wareham. Is that how you pronounce it? Wareham, whatever. Hopefully, this is the only time you'll ever hear me say this. Hopefully it's in Brockton, because that's the closest one by a mile to me. Brockton, at least, is off the highway. Hingham is a freaking pain in the ass to get to. And Wareham and Plymouth, it might as well be on the moon for me. That's a hike and a half. So I hope it's in Brockton, because those are the only 4 district courts in that whole county. And that county's much better. It's a lot less corrupt. It's run by DA Cruz, which I know some people have a problem with, but I think he seems like a law and order guy. And I've seen cases move to Plymouth County where charges have been upgraded from Norfolk. Norfolk County, I don't trust. So I think it's a good thing. As far as justice for the venue, that KP got to change the venue, I don't think it's good for her. I don't think it's good for her because it just seems like it's not. But she might have some more charges coming. Because another police department has filed a criminal complaint against her. Let's see what this, I'll share it now. I was going to share this later, but I just got this report today. Yeah, Taunton is Bristol County. She is being charged with, or a criminal complaint has been filed against her by the Holden Police Department, it appears, for witness intimidation, 13B, and trespassing. So she has been, a criminal complaint has been filed against her by the Holden Police Department for witness intimidation and trespassing. And we'll get into all that later about why that happened. But as it turns out, guys, you cannot threaten. You can't say stuff like this. You can't do that.
We have done. So the next court date, I would highly suggest Aidan not show up to it. It's not a threat. She is going to have protection with her this time. That woman is never going to be accosted by you in a parking lot ever again.
No, she's
ever again. Do not show up. I'm telling, do not show up.
Yeah, you can't say that, and you especially because I was a witness in the case involving Christina Yakimowski in Worcester Superior Court, and I was being warned, if you come to court, you're going to get assaulted. And then I came to court, and I got assaulted on camera, and now he's getting charged too. And stuff like
he would
that.
have to be here to do that. Okay, so there's a slight chance that Chili DeCastro might make an appearance at this bullshit court hearing. There's a chance that Aidan might too, because he seems to really like to lurk around. Again,
bring Mr.
Aidan,
Massel.
I will have men with me, actual men with actual testicles, and actual jobs and stuff. You know, real adult men will be with me. So if you're thinking of showing up and starting some malarkey, just really reflect on whether or not you're afraid of actual men. Because if you are, you should probably avoid that venue on that day. Stay in your wife's basement, perhaps.
Yeah, so that's a court date in which I was a witness against her. And that was in the West Roxbury case. And she told me, and I ended up getting assaulted that day. So she was going to bring men with her, and she brought a crackhead Andrew Luck with her, and he assaulted me. So that's witness. That's like the definition, like telling someone, you're a witness against me in court. If you show up, I'm going to have men with me. And then, so don't show up. And then I show up, and then I get assaulted. That's witness. It's like the definition of witness intimidation. Yeah, you can't do that. And so apparently the police went to her spoke with her about this. The North Attleboro police initially said like there was a jurisdiction thing, I guess. And then this happened. So this is in the police report that I got today. It said, I was made aware that North Attleboro police referred the charges back to Holden. A copy of this report will be provided to Leominster District Court for a show cause hearing. So how this works is a magistrate now will decide if there's probable cause to charge someone. And if I got charged with witness intimidation based on Colin Albert impressions, I would imagine like a direct threat to assault someone if they show up for court. I think there might be a little bit of probable cause. I'm just saying there might be. So a magistrate in Leominster will have the option now to either just read over the evidence and file it without a hearing, or give her a shot at a magistrate's hearing, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah, it's just like I wish it's not. It's like, well, but TB2. No. This is a one-sided thing there, Paige. You don't like. I was perfectly content with writing about the Karen Reed thing, and then this happens. Like, what am I supposed to do there? I did nothing. I don't. You look at my channel. Do you see a lot of her faces on the thing? Nope. Don't do any of that. So, anyway, it goes on to say, and this is really sad to see. It says on December 4th at approximately 8:47, I spoke with Kay Peter regarding the live stream that she did where she threatened. She appeared to be aggravated by this information and explained the ongoing issues between her and Aidan Kearney. That doesn't make it okay. I explained that the Holden police would be forwarding the report to the court for the show cause hearing to determine if there was probable cause to move forward with the charges. So she's aggravated. Imagine that. I mean, there's a simple solution to all this. It's like Paige said, you just go your separate ways. It's all I've wanted to do. I don't want any issues with this individual, but what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? Anyway, so yeah, that's that. And we'll see what happens with that. But I just got the report today, etc. So let's talk about this, Boomer Power Hour over here on, the YouTube streets. And let me read a couple donos real quick while I have a chance, because we got a couple turtle chats here. First up, we got on the turtle chat, we got $10 from Nikki. Says, shout out to my 6 son, Benjamin. Oh, poor Benjamin. He's a brand new turtle rider. He says, go Turtleboy. Thank you. Smart mama. I hope he's feeling better. And oh man, that's sad. But we also sell Turtleboy kid shit in the stores now. A lot of people are posting their pictures with their kids with it. Very cool to see. Turtleboy is not just for adults. It's a family blog. It's a family website. Okay. Michael Morrissey sends $10. It says, this goes out to Jackie. Hey girl, heard you're in the market for some work. Hit me up. I might know a guy. XO Mike. Okay. Steven sends $10 and says, big fan of your work. My landlord, who keeps to herself, is distraught over this. So cut and dry. It is so true. Thank you. Geary sends $15 and says, Dr. Turtleboy, thank you for the great reporting. If Karen was actually guilty, she should be thanking Proctor for his crap investigation. That's a good point too. Like if Karen, like I've seen people who everyone knows are guilty get off on crimes that everyone knows they committed simply because the police work is that bad, right? Oh God. Okay. Being threatened by turtle. No one's threatening you. Enough with this threat. So Kristen Marie posts this on the page. I just want to address it for a second. It says, being threatened by Turtleboy tonight on his live is concerning. Enough with the threatening. People think that because I have a large platform and I talk about you, if I talk about a person on my platform, I'm threatening you just because I have a lot of followers. So it's a threat. So people can talk about me, but if I talk about them back, then it's a threat. So it's okay when you do it because you don't have a large following. But when I do it, it's somehow a fucking threat. I have never seen. It's just so pathetic. These people, they fire shots, and then you fire back. You're like, oh my God, he's threatening me. Oh my God, he's attacking me. Shut the fuck up then. Nobody made you talk. Nobody made you run your cock kisser. Stop it. Threats of what? Oh, threats of writing a blog. That's not a threat. I write stories. And I didn't do it. It goes on to say, the lies he told about our conversation, I will not be silent anymore. Oh, bring it on. He has threatened to blog about me for months. I told my truth. He can choose to not believe me, but he's crossed the line. And let's see if people responded to this, because this is this true. Let's see what people in the group say. I got to see this. Hold on. I got to see this first. It's coming up. Come on. It'll show me. All right. So what are people saying? I appreciate that you don't want to be silent, but care to elaborate. Yeah. So it doesn't. Yeah. Here we go. People are sending it to me. Oh, there it is. What are people saying here? So there's no threats. Just to be clear, that there's no threat here. There's absolutely no threat. Talking about a sexual abuse disclosure is not funny. No one thinks it's funny. I think you're lying. I want to be honest. I think you're a liar. I think you're a crazy person, and I think you're a liar. I don't believe you, and you had no evidence to back up anything you said, and then you got offended when I didn't blindly believe you. So there's that. Whether you believe it or not, that's crossing a line. Anyone that stands for this is not a good person. Okay. Oh, Turtleboy is a piece of shit bum, someone said. He's been ousted from groups before. If he doesn't gain anything monetarily, then he doesn't care. Someone goes, also, calling someone on the short bus isn't funny. It kind of is. But it's not really funny. It's like accurate. So there's that. Okay. Anyway, so back to the donos here. Thank you, Gary. Yeah. She said that should be thanking Proctor for his crap investigation, because if it weren't for Proctor if she was actually guilty, then Proctor would have hooked her up. There's a reason Proctor didn't fuck up the Brian Walsh case so badly, because Brian Walsh is guilty as sin. And, you don't want to fuck that one up, but Key knows Karen Reed's innocent. That's why they had to do this. McCabe's and Albert should be pissed at Proctor for his investigation and not socializing with him. They have him to blame for what has happened. If Karen is being, he saved them from jail. I don't think they should be mad. They have him to blame for what has happened. If Karen is being framed, then the Alberts and McCabe's should still like Proctor. Yes, okay, that's correct. I see what you're saying. Good point, Gary. Charlene sends $25 and says, here is $25 to add to your so-called $5 million bank account. Keep up the fabulous work. Love your guts. Now it's $5,025,000. Thank you very much, Charlene. I appreciate that. Also got a couple turtle chats here. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. Cash apps, we have Carrie sends $20 and says, stop it. Agreed, Carrie. Your dirty little secrets, my favorite account, sends $1 and says, you know what you did. TikTok, keep talking shit. I'm going to do that. You keep giving me money. And Lisa sends $10 and says, sorry, I'm ignoring you. Audrey, Turtleboy's live is on. Yes. Sorry, Audrey. I apologize for that. Live is on. Okay, cool. If anyone else wants to donate, the link is at the top of the chat, or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtleboy. Let's play some of this. Here we go.
Was nothing but a great guy. So just to give a little background. Waterfall ball. Prosecutors have made their position clear, charging something where they said, prosecutors have made their position clear, charging Reed with second-degree murder, vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated, and leaving the scene of a collision. She has pleaded not guilty, and a trial is set for March. So that's the brief synopsis of what occurred. One of the things that's indisputable is both Reed and Officer John O'Keefe were drinking quite heavily. They were probably both qualified as intoxicated. And I've read something where they said Karen Reed's blood alcohol level was anywhere between 0.13 and 0.293, which is
wow.
pretty
Look at
damn
Covendaver.
intoxicating.
Look at Covendaver. Look at her.
So there's no question about that. And so knowing a little bit about alcohol, we don't all react the same way. We don't respond the same way. We don't see things the same way when we're intoxicated. Jennifer, your thoughts about this?
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
here we go.
absolutely.
Oh my
they
God.
took her blood alcohol and it was somewhere between 0.07 and 0.08. And that was after 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah, she's so
And
drunk.
that is
She's so
where,
drunk.
the doctors surmised that her blood alcohol level was the figures that you previously named.
Oh, no, she's so
I think
drunk.
it's
She must
very
have killed him.
interesting because initially when she first reached out to...
And by the way, it's like, if her blood alcohol makes her unreliable, she's so wasted, whatever, so drunk. Why are the other witnesses who were drinking for much longer than her, why are they so reliable? But everything they said, their recollection of what happened is goddamn gold. Like, it cannot be questioned. But Karen Reed was the only drunk one there, so nothing she says could be trusted. That's how they want to distract you. They want to talk about how drunk she is. Doesn't matter how drunk she is, because her car doesn't have teeth.
Jen McCabe, she actually says she doesn't even remember going to 34 Fairview.
He said that,
at all. And then later, the story changes over and over. And I think part of that might be attributed to the alcohol consumption and her lack of knowledge and memory the next morning.
Look, there's no doubt that you can have a blackout from alcohol and totally not remember things. Mike, your thoughts?
Yeah, Billy, that's one of the issues for her is that she made statements to people. She suggested things. And then later on, as she sobered up after she had fallen asleep for a few hours, sobered up, went back and started doing a search. She still was suffering the effects of the alcohol, but she was a lot less impaired. And perhaps she was had a little bit more control of her faculties. But yeah, there it is. You've seen this as a police officer. I've seen this as a police officer. People can't even remember what they did. They're arrested. They're in central booking, and they don't really have any record.
This guy's a professor at some school. Wouldn't recommend going to whatever school this guy's going from, because he doesn't like to read the facts of the case. Like, not a single one of these three people has read the core file. Actually, Covendaver has. Let's not pretend like we don't know exactly what she's doing. She's read it all. She knows all this. Her job is to spread disinformation and put a spin on the truth. That is her role. These two idiots just blindly believe her because she used to work at the FBI. We don't know why she left the FBI. We don't know why. Like, she was like, I don't want to work for the FBI anymore. She just left. But she constantly feels the need to tell you that she worked at the FBI and show her old credentials. And these two guys are just like, oh yeah, happy to have you on. You're an expert. You're Jennifer Covendaver. I mean, how you got to be a pretty big boomer at this point to even associate with this woman. And because all of us out here in reality know that this woman's a joke. No one actually takes her seriously anymore. But these guys are like, yeah, let's have her on and like listen to her. Yeah, let's go.
Collection of what they did. And you tell them and they're going to deny it. And it's a shame, but there's this huge hole of a few hours where she doesn't really have anything constructive to add to accurately portray what actually happened.
No, absolutely. And I want to read also what CNN says. This is what they said Karen Reed says happened that night.
Fast forward a little bit.
Court documents and in media interviews, she said that near whiteout conditions, looking for O'Keefe and consistent with blunt force trauma. We know who did it. We know. Most important, I tried to save his life. I tried to save his life at 6 a.m. I was covered in his blood. I was the only one trying to save his life. Now, the most important thing evidentiary-wise, Jennifer, right now is the defense is coming up with this theory that he was inside the house. And
Paul, I sent it to you. You can just send it to her.
Inside
and paste.
the house,
Copy paste, and
they dumped his body in the front of the house into the street. That in itself is almost the entire case, because that's their defense. And if it can be proven that he never ever made it into that house, then what kind of case do they have, Jennifer?
Well, they don't have a case because the evidence does show he never made it into that house. First of all, the statements of...
I mean, that's a blatant lie. So if Bill is watching this, Bill, okay, that is blatantly untrue. The Apple Health data, we know John is in the house for a couple of reasons. Number one, the Apple Health data shows that he's ascending and descending stairs from 12:21 to 12:24 a.m. There are no stairs inside Karen Reed's car. There are no stairs on Brian Albert's front lawn. So if the prosecution is arguing, well, he wasn't there yet because the GPS shows that he was somewhere else at that time. Bill, Apple uses something called an internal COCOA clock. It works on planes. It works in outer space. It will never stop working. It recognizes the number of seconds since January 1st, 2001. And we're up to like 65 million, whatever right now. And at that moment, it said he was ascending and descending stairs between 12:21 and 12:24. That is significantly more accurate than any GPS time that these people who were arguing, are setting them up. But even if they didn't, let's assume they didn't. It is still Apple Health data is the standard. It is especially the clock is significantly more reliable than any other GPS, whatever. It is significantly more reliable. So, that is just a lie. So that's number one, that he's ascending and descending stairs. Number two, there's a guy that you guys didn't mention on the show. His name is Ryan Nagel. Ryan Nagel's testimony is that he pulled in directly after Karen got there, within 5 or 10 seconds, that he saw her alone in the car, her hands at 10 and 2, and the inside light on. The interior light was on. That there was no damage to the taillight, and that John was not lying on the ground anywhere in the vicinity of her vehicle. So where was he then? Again, Karen got there probably 10 seconds before him, and it is believed that John just ran into the house, so Ryan didn't see him. And so where was he, Bill? I mean, I question you. If he was not in the house, and if you can answer me that question, I will concede that I'm wrong. If you can answer me, where was John? Why did Ryan Nagel not see John O'Keefe? Why did he see Karen Reed alone in the car? Just answer me that. And if he wasn't in the car, then where could he be but inside the house? Please. I mean, that's a really simple question. I know I'm just, some crazy blogger and YouTuber. That's how they've probably told you what I am. But I'm actually not stupid. I'm smarter than this person. That's for sure. And if you could explain to me where John O'Keefe was when Ryan Nagel pulled up, I will concede that I was wrong. But that doesn't appear to be something that is happening right now. So she goes.
Karen Reed, particularly early on, and numerous occasions where she said she dropped him there, and she didn't see him go in the house. She later changes that and says he goes into the house. So there's one set of sort of muddled statements. Then there is the evidence that are from the Waze. And Waze, they had their Waze going when they went there. And the issue is when you look at...
So Waze, of course, is a tracking device. It's not known for its ability to call time as accurately as Apple. It tells you how to get from point A to point B. It's MapQuest. Like, that's what it is.
Information that supposedly he took steps and was in that house. The problem is it was before he even arrived there.
No, it's not.
So there's it's very incongruent.
It's before he even arrived there, according to you. According to the Apple Health data, he did arrive there by that point, because that's why he's ascending stairs. Karen Reed also has an iPhone, like John did. Her phone does not show her ascending and descending stairs at that time. That suggests that they were not in the same place between 1221 and 1224, because otherwise they both would have been ascending and descending stairs, or neither would. But instead, it was just John. So please, I know I'm not as smart as I didn't go to the FBI school. I'm just a YouTuber, but please explain that to me.
To say, in terms of the information we have from the GPS, that he was ever in that house. And then you add on top of that the fact that the glass he had held in his hand is actually fragments are embedded in the bumper,
Embedded.
The back bumper part of his quarter panel, I should say.
Okay, she can't even get it right. That it's embedded in the back bumper quarter panel. So Jennifer, the quarter panel is this thing right here. Okay, that's called the quarter panel. That's where the hair was. Okay, the hair that you guys keep talking about. This is the bumper over here. Okay, and they found one piece of cocktail glass embedded in there. Embedded, not on top of, embedded in there. Somehow it got embedded. Please explain the science of that. How it gets so the cocktail glass just shattered when she ran him over somehow on the grass, and then one shard jumped up and didn't just stay on top, it became embedded in it like a magnet. Like that's how powerful that bumper is. It just sucks in glass and holds on to it, and then it stays on there during a blizzard as she drives 80 miles round trip from Canton back to Dighton and then back to Canton. Okay, that's what you want, and you believe we are the conspiracy theorists. You believe that happened, and you have the audacity to call us conspiracy theorists because we're like, nah, that doesn't make much sense. Go, conspiracy theorists. No, you are, but okay.
This vehicle, you have the taillight, small fragments that are in his clothing, and you have the taillight that is actually in the snow where his body is, actually also where his phone was below him. So there's just
okay. So she doesn't, of course, Bill, what she fails to point out is when the Canton Police Department got there at 6 a.m. and did a search of the scene, there was no taillight. There were 0 pieces of taillight, 0. He also didn't have a shoe. He was missing a shoe. And magically, 12 hours later, after a foot of snow had fallen, they found the shoe, the hat, and 4 pieces of red taillight. Magically. They didn't see it before, but after a foot of snow fell, it became easier to find somehow. And then in the preceding weeks and months, Michael Proctor found on his own on 5 separate trips there, which he did not account for or document or take pictures. He found 31 more pieces of taillight. And then a year and a half later, they finally got around to testing the clothing. And wouldn't you know it? There's microscopic taillight in the clothing. Except it's not really microscopic. It's 1/16 of an inch, which you don't need a microscope to see. So there was just some taillight, but it just fucking crumbled, man. It crumbled, the whole taillight. It just broke off in a whole bunch of big pieces and also some smash ones that ended up in the clothes, in the evidence, and they didn't notice it for 18 months. And we're the conspiracy theorists. We're the crazy ones here. Okay, sure thing, Bill.
Just no evidence that he was ever in that house or drug out of that house. And there's no DNA on his face, on his knuckles, on his body from any of these 10 individuals that supposedly beat the tar out of him.
There's no DNA on his body from any of these individuals. And she would know that how? Oh, right. She wouldn't, because they never tested John and his skin swabs for DNA. That never happened. And he is in the ground now, and it can never happen again. It can never happen. So we don't know if he was covered in their DNA because it was never tested. And we never got pictures of the people inside the house. Were any of them checked for injuries? Any of them? Oh, right, they weren't, because they didn't search the house. And Colin Albert, who was in the house, wasn't interviewed until 18 months afterwards. And Brian Albert didn't come outside when there was a dead body on his front lawn. Just didn't come out. And the dog that we're alleging bit John O'Keefe is just gone. You got that there, Bill? What's his name? Cannon? You got that? The dog that we are alleging bit John because it looks like his arm got scratched up by a dog is just gone. It was the family dog. It was a healthy 6-year-old dog, and now it's just gone. And they can't explain where it is. If you listen to this mushhead, she'll tell you that the dog is in Vermont, but they can't say where it is. They can't produce the dog. And I would challenge you, say, at whose house? Who's got the dog? Can you show us a picture of the dog? Is the dog alive? Can you do that? Nope, they can't do anything, Bill. So I know you're a cop, Bill. You know, you're a New York Police Department. You were on the New York Police Department for like 35 years. And, you know, when you investigate a crime, you got to figure out, you got to ask tough questions, and you got to figure out, you know, what's going on here. You know, you got to call a guy. You got to find out, you know, do the facts add up? What does the evidence tell us? What direction do they tell us? Well, maybe you should ask Kofende for these questions, like, where's the dog? Where's the dog? Anybody seen Chloe? Where'd the dog go? Who gets rid of a healthy dog? I don't know. You tell me. But you can't do that, Bill, because maybe I'm going to give you a chance, Bill, to prove to me that you're not as stupid as you come across on this. I'm not saying you are stupid. Thus far, not good. Not good. Play some more.
You know, how many people were actually inside the house?
So let me start with Jen McCabe, Matt McCabe, Brian Albert, his wife Nicole Albert, Brian Jr. Albert, which is the whole reason they were there.
Okay.
It was a birthday celebration for him. Caitlin Albert, the daughter, Brian Higgins, who was an ATF agent, who was also there during this event. Sarah, Julie, and Ryan, who were friends.
Stop it. Ryan. So 7, Sarah Levinson, Julie Nagel, that's 9. Ryan was never in the house. Ryan Nagel never went in the house. So she's lying. Ryan Nagel is the guy that was outside the house to pick up his sister Julie because she called to ask him for a ride. And then suddenly, about 6 minutes after John got there, she came outside and was like, psych, I don't need a ride. I'm going to sleep over. And then she didn't sleep over because she got a ride home from Jen McCabe an hour and a half later. And she was never questioned by police until 9 months later, after Alan Jackson called her out in court and said, why isn't this person being questioned? And suddenly she remembered seeing a shadowy figure on the front lawn. That's who Julie Nagel is. See, these are things called, Bill, I know you work for the New York Police Department for like 35 years. And I know that on the job, you probably say on the job a lot, referring to your work on the job. You like to ask the questions like this, and you like to have the facts and evidence. And that's what I wasn't in the FBI. I wasn't in the FBI like Jennifer Kofendorfer is. I didn't do that. I don't get the badge to show for it. But I did graduate from college, and I'm not stupid. And I bring these things to every debate called facts and evidence. I think you're right. I think she meant, was Colin in the house? I didn't know Colin was in the house. But if we're doing, so we know that Jennifer is going to say that Colin was never in the house at the same time as them, but there was like 5-6 other girls there. Catherine Doody, Emily Fabiano, Courtney something. I don't even know her fucking name. Mary Kent. Like, people don't even talk about. All admitted to being there earlier. Why they left, we don't know. Okay. But yeah, they said Colin had a curfew. This is what they said.
Into last names, but who were also friends of Brian. And Colin was there early, but he had to get home because of a curfew.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So
my God.
Departed the house,
she said that with a straight face. He had to get home for a curfew. Says who? This is like Chris Albert has found a bunch of useful idiots to just spew his lies and propaganda. He had a curfew? Colin Albert had a curfew. A curfew. Colin Albert has not provided any evidence that he was not at that house. None, besides his own testimony. Brian Albert puts him in that house. His own grand jury testimony puts Colin Albert in the house at the same time as him. Colin Albert was there earlier and then just left when his fun uncle got there. Is that what you're saying? He has no evidence. He has a screenshot he doesn't have a screenshot. His dad has a screenshot of what he claims is a text message with Allie McCabe showing him leaving the house at 12:09. Not leaving the house. It just says, I'm here. That's what the text message says. I'm here. That's what Allie said. And they're alleging that was Colin getting picked up. Well, Colin was at a friend's house before this. So it's very plausible that I'm here means she picked him up at the friend's house and brought him to 34 Fairview Road. Not home, to. But, Jennifer Covendaver says he's a curfew, so it must be true.
Is also will be in evidence from not only text messages about to the person coming to pick him up, but the testimony of the person who picked him up, brought him to his parents' house, and then of course his parents and his GPS. So all of that added together, Colin Albert wasn't even there at 24 after the hour when they arrived, which is going to be a problem.
Which is going to be
one of the things.
Well, she is. It's just so funny how seriously she takes herself, like with her glasses on, like I'm a serious person. Jennifer Covendaver is not a serious person. She is a running joke on the internet. No serious person. The serious people laugh at her. They don't take her seriously, Bill. I'm giving you a chance, Bill. Okay, you have a chance now. You seemed reasonable in your first take. Your mind has been poisoned by this very stupid person. But go on.
I see a lot of people in the chat talking about, and I discussed this a little bit with Professor Mike before we went on the air, and that's the Apple Watch that
the Apple Watch
allegedly or shows him walking up whatever it was, 3 flights of stairs. And again, I am not an expert on Apple Watches.
No, you're not.
And I'm certainly not an expert on cell phones, but I know that the GPS in a cell phone is pretty damn accurate.
Not as accurate as Apple
When
Health.
I was on the NYPD, we used to have a unit called TARU, Technical Assistance Response Unit, and they could go right to an apartment and place the phone right in the specific apartment using this device called Triggerfish. I'm sure it's much more.
I can't believe people like this.
Date now. That was 12 years ago. I'm sure technology has moved even further, and the technology from placing the phone where it actually was. So if the phone was underneath his body, I mean, isn't it going to show that?
Yeah, and that's the trouble. It does. The problem is there's 3 pieces of information here. We have the Apple Watch information. We have the GPS information from the phone.
Yeah.
And then we also have the Waze information.
The GPS
on that
is the
app.
Waze, but okay, go ahead.
And the issue is that the Apple Watch information, timing wise, shows this, ascending and descending stairs and all these steps as occurring before he even arrives to the house, according to the Waze and the GPS.
Oh, so according to so these 2 things conflict, and this one's right. So the other one must be wrong. That's what she's saying. Except Apple Health is the Apple Cocoa Watch is the most reliable teller of time possible. Bill, I know back in the police department, you guys did some stuff in an apartment here and there, and it was really wild, but you can't really remember. But I'm telling you right now, a little bit younger than you, a little bit more familiar with technology, the Apple Health data is significantly more reliable and will be proven so in court if it gets to there.
So there's a fundamental gap between what Apple is saying and what the other instrumentation is saying. And if I've done just very little review, but some review about the Apple Watch information, because I've retired about 7 years ago. And, that was something that just didn't come into play in the cases I was on. But they are apparently wrong often.
What?
In terms of their data, whereas the GPS data and the Waze data is much more.
It's just like, what? She's just lying. That is a completely unsubstantiated lie. And if this guy were a serious person, he'd be like, can you cite a source that shows that Apple Health times are inaccurate? Can you do that? No, you can't, because you're a liar. And he's like, this should be fought in a real court, not a court of public opinion. Meanwhile, so I'm going to bring this idiot on and just have her lie, and we'll fight it here in the court of public opinion by lying. Okay, sure. I mean, what a liar. I have never seen anybody lie this easily as I do her.
More accurate.
You know, Jennifer and Mike, I'm going to let you join in here. You know, the court of public opinion is never the court that makes decisions. You know, the court that makes decisions is the Supreme Court, the criminal court. That the case
Yeah,
gets
yet you're
tried
listening
in.
to her.
And that's where both the prosecution and the defense will have their experts dissecting all of this information. And if there are errors and if there are things that the police did wrong and the prosecution did wrong, that'll do what's called, and I love the acronym BARD, beyond a reasonable doubt. They have to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. And if there are those mistakes, and if there are those glaring errors, and if the evidence points to the fact that Karen Reed, in fact, did not do this, then guess what? She'll be found not guilty. Mike, your thoughts?
Yeah, Billy, she's got excellent counsel, and they're doing a bang-up job. They're doing the best.
All right. So anyway, I'm going to pause right there. So here's the deal. I'm going to bring on right now Paul, Tracy, and Dana, who are the organizers of this protest in Canton. We're going to talk about it because they've done a tremendous job organizing this. I know they had a meeting with Chief Rafferty last week. That was interesting. So let me bring them on now. Let's see. Hello, guys. How you guys doing?
Hey, Aidan.
Hey, how you doing?
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
So you guys have organized this protest. Tell me when does it start? Where does it start? Tell me everything. And what's it about? You're muted,
okay,
Paul.
so it starts Sunday, December 7th. It's at 1 o'clock.
December 17th?
17th, sorry.
Okay.
So we'll be meeting at that parking lot at 92 Pleasant Street. We're going to be leaving to do the walk at 1. So if you could be there a little bit earlier, excuse me, that would be great.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. What's that 92 Pleasant? Is that like near
92 Pleasant is the recreation department.
Okay.
Oh, it's like a big, huge parking lot, and then the overflow can go over, across the street. It's another.
Okay.
It's like some field or something. I forget the name of it.
So it's a march. It's a march, not a protest. It's a march.
It's a walk to the protest.
Oh, I like it. A walk. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
It's a walk. We don't want to consider it a march because then we need permits and stuff like that.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, it's a walk.
Yeah. So cones are going to be set up from where we start from to the Canton Police Department. So, they don't want anyone getting hurt and they don't want to interrupt traffic. So cones will be set up. So we have to stay within those codes. We have permission to use the bathroom inside the Canton Police Department. So that's pretty cool.
Upper decker.
It's okay, in the cell.
Yeah, it's the one in the cell. Also, if anything should happen, Rafferty's claims to have a plan in place for counter protesters. So I will alert her if anyone shows up or any witnesses show up or anyone gives us any trouble. And she's telling us that she's going to put them in a separate area if that happens. So we'll see about that.
I don't think they're going to show up. So,
no,
they never do. When have they ever come to any of these?
Well, we were at the Canton Police Department a couple weeks ago. Them cabs across the street. Apparently, they all met there, and they started yelling at Rita. And Chris was there. He was taking pictures of Paul. Ricky was there.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare.
Well, I'll be there, and I know they're really scared and sad. So I think hopefully they'll keep 100 feet away because they need that. They definitely need that. So, what were you going to say, Paul?
Well, I was going to jump in just because you said we were talking about counter protesters. Something came to light tonight, so I just wanted to let it out there for everybody.
Okay.
Bianca on the other page, started an event for a standout at the Canton Police Station at 1 o'clock.
I messaged her.
Okay, so that's not happening.
Yeah, I told her we're going to put her into the separate area if she and her people show up, because they'll be considered
Hostile.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So all right. So it's how long is the walk distance wise?
It's a short walk.
It's only like 5 minutes.
Oh, it's that short?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
We plan to do longer, but this was what we came up with.
And it ends at the police station. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. And how did your meeting? Can people protest anywhere else in town, like at local businesses, for instance? Is that against the rules, or what? What did she say about that?
I'll jump on that a little bit.
Please do.
When we went into the meeting, we weren't going into the meeting to look for permission to protest anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Our goal was to protest in front of a certain pizza shop. That was our goal.
Mm-hmm.
And we asked the questions, and she told us we cannot protest in front of a witness's house or place of business. And I asked her what happened if we did. She said the same fate as the Canton 9.
Okay. So they're going to charge, and so they are going to charge. She said that they're going to charge you if you protest outside there. Okay, good to know. That's good to know.
So we didn't want to lead people into getting arrested or picking up charges.
Mm.
Now, and I'll say it again. I'll say it one more time because someone said something to me. We did all this, and someone told me something afterwards and said, "Paul, remember, you're talking to somebody that helped cover up a murder."
Good point.
You know,
What is
point,
worth
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
So we got some things in writing. We'll
Okay,
see what
cool. Okay, cool. Good stuff. And what is the like? What are we protesting here? What's the main thing? The Canton 9, or just
the
everything?
First Amendment rights, the Canton 9, corruption in the Canton Police Department, corruption in the town of Canton, Norfolk DA, and the Mass State Police.
Okay, good. So it's everything, all included.
Everything
all
included.
Everything.
And Karen and John are obviously intertwined in that.
Mhm.
Yep. Bring any sign saying anything you'd like, as long as it's not in front of a witness's place of business or residence. So we're gonna
like,
take that.
I don't get it. Can you like protest like if I'm like I'm against, like I don't know, pick a political cause, like build a wall, and can you like protest outside of the pizza shop there and be like, bring back Roe versus Wade, something like that? Can you do that? Like, is that like? Or...
Paul actually brought that up. Paul had said, "What if we stood in front of the pizza shop and said, 'This is the greatest pizza in the world,' or something to that effect?" And basically, it was the same thing. If the witness feels intimidated, then doesn't like it. Doesn't. It's really such a gray area.
Yeah,
gray area. So whatever he says, we're just trusting his. If he says he's intimidated, that's good. That's all it takes. Okay,
Right.
cool. Good to know.
And we told our opinions about him being feeling intimidated. We brought up all the examples of him intimidating everybody else.
And that meant nothing?
And she said that's up to the courts to decide.
Okay. Well,
and we also mentioned that there are certain officers that are involved that are, quote unquote witnesses as well. And what if we approach them? What if we get close to them? Well, how does that work? What's the difference? And she basically said, what did she actually say? What was the actual words that she used? They're not intimidated by us, for lack of a better term. They don't care. Yeah. So
Sergeant Gallagher jumped right in and said, "Because we're not intimidated by you."
Yep.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
So let's do it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Cool. Good stuff.
And we also asked about Tim living across the street from the police station, how that impacts us as well. Now we're holding signs, obviously protesting, everything across the board. Is, if last time we were there, Chris Albert showed up to Tim's house, is that a problem? And again, she said, "Come inside. We'll address that to you." So we shouldn't have any. They claim we shouldn't have any issues, but it's such a gray area.
Her exact words were that Chris doesn't work or live there, so he has no reason to be there. So we can still protest there, which sort of goes against what they're trying to charge everybody with.
But they said it's within eyesight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that was what they said before.
Yeah,
eyesight was never mentioned during our meeting. That were never mentioned.
Okay, and that's literally what the charging documents against them entail. That's what I mean. They're just making this shit up as they go along. And
they did admit that it's up for interpretation. So basically, she said everyone sitting in this room will look at the First Amendment and have their own interpretation of it. So they're using their interpretation to press charges against all these people.
And by the way, that's a good point. The person says here, it says family member too. I mean, that's a family.
I know it
member's
does
house.
say that.
So like, how is that not a violation of the statute? That, I mean, or a potential witness or whatever. Like you can't,
Right.
I mean, Tim Albert is a family member of several witnesses, and it's just like, okay, because they're making it up. They're just making shit up as they go along, and they're just looking for a reason to do this. So anyway, anything else to add?
I want to put it out there. I put it out there on the Young Jerks too the other day is, listen, the time is now. I'm telling everybody, we need people there. We want to show up with hundreds. I'd like to show up with 1,000. And I'm going to give a good example. Tracy and Dana went out, had to be somewhere tonight. And I had to be here somewhere tonight. But we came here home to make sure we were here for this because it's important. So I know people have stuff to do on Sunday, but if there's a slight chance to come, make that decision and come. As Rita says, this is a turning point. And we need people here. And the more people show up, the bigger the message.
For sure. Absolutely. I'm going to try my best to make it there. Hopefully, I should be able to make it there. So I got to get there. So
We gotta get there.
I haven't been to Canton in a bit, so I need to get back. So.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you saw the email. The Canton Police Department and inside is a safe zone for everybody protesting.
Right.
It's just like
I would have doing that.
It's just like it's a protest where they're like, you could, any protest that like the police are like, oh yeah, you can do. It's just like it defeats the like. So you're supposed to disrupt, but I get it. You know, people don't need their own charges, and I get it. So I appreciate what you guys are doing, and thank you guys for joining me.
Thanks for having us on.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
All right, bye guys.
Take care.
All right. So check it out. Give it if anyone is in Canton or can get to Canton, 1 o'clock Sunday. I mean, playing the Chiefs, we're getting it smoked. Although you never know with this team. Watch, we'll beat them. Like watch some crazy shit will happen. The Chiefs need the win bad, especially after the last couple of games. I guess they don't need it. Their division sucks, so they'll probably win that easily. They can't get the 1 seed. That's out of the picture now. That they could get the 2 because Miami. Oh, did you guys see that Dolphins game last night? What a choke job that was. What an absolute freaking choke job that was. But yeah. Anyway, I heard that post was taken down by what's his name? Kristen. She's taking the post down, so apparently she's thought better of that. I'm not sure. Glad she's feeling better. Okay, let's get back to roasting Kofin Daver, shall we? Before I do that, let me see any more turtle chats that we have. Got one turtle chat here from Ann. She sends $25 and she says, shout out for the Glairer for his show about the BS from the Kofin Daver from the Cuff. He was very angry. I enjoyed his rant on my way to Stoughton today. I listened to it on the car. It was very good. It was very good. Definitely would recommend. It's pure anger. I love pure, authentic anger like that. It's great to see. Diane sends $10 and says, thank you. Merry Christmas and happy birthday. Thank you very much, Diane. I appreciate that. All right, back to it.
They can for her, given the fact that as Ms. Koffendorfer said, there's a lot of issues with some of the timing of what her statements were, the navigation in the phone. Always think, what is the most logical thing that probably happened?
What is the most logical thing?
The most logical thing that probably will happen is probably what actually did happen. It's nothing like Martians are going to come down and a spaceship. No, nothing. You don't have to go outside the realm of really what's pretty probable, that you can see in everyday life. Use your common sense.
Yeah,
what seems to be, given the set of facts, most likely scenario that happened in a homicide case or, that sort of thing. And when we talk about these things, you say, okay, what is the most likely common sense thing? And
the most likely common sense thing based on the autopsy photos is that he was killed inside the house and dumped on the front lawn and she was framed. It's really not that complicated. That's the most logical. What's not logical is that a man who got hit by that Karen Reed backed into him at 24 miles an hour from 62 feet away in a snowstorm while, blackout drunk, and then hit him with her 3-ton vehicle, which somehow did not cause any injuries, no bruises, No broken bones, nothing below his nose. There wasn't a scratch on his body. The only injuries were the gigantic laceration in the back of the head, despite landing on grass, and some black eyes. And what appear to be obvious dog scratches on his arm. That is not plausible. So, like, these people love to talk about what is the most likely thing. Ours. What we're saying is much more likely than that. And good luck convincing a jury otherwise. Good luck.
Her, this narrative doesn't really quite fit at all with some of the facts that we know. The average common person could say, based just on a few facts, we could kind of see what might have happened, despite what somebody's saying about a conspiracy of 10 or 11 people, men and women together, beating up someone, and then having them out in the snow to die. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Or is it something else?
It's no, you fucking idiot. I know you're trying to sound enlightened here, Professor, but no. 10 or 11 people did not beat him up. No one's ever alleged that. We suspect 2. Again, it's not our job to figure out who killed him. But we know he was killed inside that house by someone, and that they dumped his body in the front lawn. It's really not that complicated. These people act like it's so hard. And they'll say, why would they put the body on the front lawn? Because it's easier than chopping him up and throwing him in the ocean and putting him in the cars and risking blood, which will get in the cars. Risking that seems a lot more risky than just dumping them in the last place where they saw Karen Reed's. That sounds like a lot better idea than the alternative. Somebody today was like, why didn't they throw him on the fucking train tracks? Because that makes no sense. Because why the fuck is he on the train tracks? That doesn't make any, because then they can't blame Karen Reed, because I don't think she's an engineer.
That may make sense. So she's climbing a very steep uphill, and she's got amazing amount of public opinion on her side for it. It really is disturbing, but the prosecutor is going to have a jury of 12 people, and she's going to have a jury of 12 people, and they're going to pick them out, and they will be in a courtroom, and they will hear without emotion and without crazy stuff from the media, people interjecting themselves, what actually happened, and hopefully they'll use their common sense and not go down rabbit holes and make up their minds to what really occurred.
You Mike, very well said. I'm going to play a little bit of the defense presenting some of their case in a hearing.
Austin police officer John O'Keefe after a night of heavy drinking. Prosecutors claim Reed backed her car.
Where are you? Why aren't you back? She was the one. Car, I would submit, does not look like they had been punched out by Mike Tyson.
I would just like to make a comment to that. This lawyer doesn't know what he's talking about.
This lawyer doesn't know what he's talking about.
Look, I've seen someone that choked on a piece of meat once, and
he had 2 black eyes.
Talk about petechial hemorrhages. He had 2 black eyes the next day.
Oh, did he?
So blunt force.
Oh, but he had 2 black eyes the next day. Did he have a laceration in the back of his head? Congratulations about your tall tale here. I'm really happy for you. We had a guy who was choking on some meatloaf, and tell you his eyes, they just blurted out of his face. It was crazy. It was crazy. I still remember it to this day. Did he have a laceration in the back of the head and dog bites? Oh no, he didn't. So what are you talking about, Bill? What are you talking about? He looked like he got beat up by Mike Tyson. He does. And by the way, you know who said that? Paul O'Keefe said that. That was Paul O'Keefe's quote when he saw the autopsy photos. He looks like he got beat up by, that's why David Yannetti said it there.
Post trauma that causes a brain injury will absolutely cause black eyes and will cause trauma to all your blood vessels in your eyes. So I don't know what this attorney is talking about. He should get a little bit more experience if he's going to talk about physical injuries. But having said
get a little more experience. Yeah.
Let's get to
you should listen to you got that, David Yannetti. You've had 30 years as a prosecutor and a defense attorney and well-respected in the community and blah, blah, blah. But you should get more experience. You should get as much experience as this boomer on YouTube who can't figure out how to get his lighting working. He knows a lot more, bro, because he was on New York. I don't know if you know this, but He was on New York Police Department for like 34 years. You know, special crimes. We worked homicides. We worked all sorts of stuff. Rapes, robberies, you name it. We worked with some bad dudes. And I seen it all. I seen it all on the subway, you name it, on the metro, all the way down to Queens, Brooklyn, Hasbrook Heights. Where we were all over the place. We're all over the place. Yeah.
The vehicle she was driving. Now, that has a very sophisticated computer system in it. And won't the computer system in it show that she was going in reverse at a certain speed at a certain time? I don't know if it has. Well, the backup camera doesn't record, but won't it show that? And then that can show that she did, in fact, hit someone at a certain location at a certain time. Jennifer,
Absolutely.
that was
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to show the speed. It's going to show any impacts. And really, I think this is going to be the smoking black box, if you will, of the case. I think that the Commonwealth, we haven't seen a lot of evidence regarding all that that's going to show, but I think it's going to be very damning.
Oh, yeah, she thinks it is.
You know, Jennifer, I want to show something, and obviously I wanted to show this because this is fair. And this disturbed me a bit too. And these injuries to his right arm.
His
and
arm.
The defense, of course, says that this proves he was inside that house. I think they had a dog, a German Shepherd, perhaps. And this shows that the dog attacked him. Those clearly are not blunt force trauma injuries.
Yeah, they're not.
Those are the marks of a dog attacking John O'Keefe. Your thoughts?
Well, there's a few issues here. First of all, a medical examiner has examined the actual body of John O'Keefe, and not only one, but a secondary one. And they have determined that it was caused by a blunt object, not that it was from teeth and as you can see, this dog, if it would have been a dog, doesn't have any teeth on the other side.
Oh, they always
or
say this.
if they're saying
Okay,
this
let's
is
pause it.
scratches,
Let's pause it. Like,
but the big
they always bring this up. Okay, so these are not dog bites right here. These are called scratches. That's why they're parallel. So is that. Okay, but you see these things down here, these little punctures right here. Those are that's where the teeth went in. Okay, and you do not need. They're always like, why aren't they on the bottom? It's not how fucking teeth work. It's not how teeth work. Like, aha, gotcha. I mean, if anyone wants to come and bite my arm, they come do it. The top ones sink in there. Got him. Scratched his arm. It's not fucking brain. Like, look at that. It looks like every dog attack ever. And they always go for the arm because it's what you put up to protect yourself from the fucking dog. It's not hard. Every picture, any canine training academy, they're wearing the full body suits. They put the arm up. It attacks the arm. It's what always fucking happens.
Issue is going to be is they sent the information they had, the material they had, to have it analyzed for non-human DNA, and that, my understanding, has come back negative. So this argument is going to not hold any water. And again, you're looking at a photo that was actually leaked to the press. And, people are making medical analysis from a photo.
Did she just say it was illegal?
And they're just mistaken. So this argument is going to not hold any water. And again, you're looking at a photo that was actually leaked to the press. And, people are making.
Why do they always say that? Like it fucking matters. Why does that matter at all if it was leaked to the press? We got Kevin from Yellow Coyotes talking about he says he knows how the freaking clothes got tested and whether or not it came back for animal DNA. How the fuck does he know that? If shit's not getting leaked to the press. What is he talking about?
Medical analysis from a photo, and they're just mistaken.
Well, the other thing is, of course, the broken tail light, and this is causing huge, huge arguments over, was it at the scene where he was the broken tail light there? How about the broken glass that he was carrying out of the bar? Was that on the scene also?
Yes, that was on the scene also, and there were actually some fragments, if you will, that were in the quarter panel. And that's a lot to get past that. And then, as you mentioned, the tail light that's on scene there. There was that footage from about 5:08 in the morning, I believe, if I recall correctly, where Karen goes to Jen McCabe's house. And in that footage, she bumps barely the vehicle of John O'Keefe. But you can see there that the snow, everything on John O'Keefe's car is intact, that there's no change to the taillight, that there's no fragments, there's nothing that broke there on scene. And so
there's nothing, there's nothing on scene?
It is believed, of course, that it happened when she hit John O'Keefe.
It's believed by me.
Right. I want to play that video just so no one's going to accuse us of hiding anything here. Hang on, let me just find the video. But this was, of course, later, I believe, later in the early morning hours. And
people are like,
folks had
move
said
on
that
from the
this
show.
shows
We're
that,
here to roast these. We're here to roast them. All right, hold on.
Let me see if I can get it up on it.
And that's the victim's SUV parked.
Okay. Yeah.
But it would have been missing if you can't tell. But
yeah, Billy, that's one of the problems is the taillight pieces are at the where the body is, and also the drink that he had in his hand was broken too. And
yeah, because they were
and I'm
there.
thinking from my point of view, if she did a 3-point U-turn, which meant she backed up like maybe twice, she may have hit him in his chest.
What?
And he fell down, and she may have backed over him and he hit his head, and the defensive wounds on his arms may have been from his hand going underneath the bumper, hitting metal, getting scratched.
Okay, Professor Michael Geary, like this man, like you guys hear what he just said here? Michael Geary, you're invited on the show whenever you want to explain what you just said right there, because it is literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. What you just said, first of all, you're talking about a 3-point turn. You might want to catch up on the court filings, dude. They got rid of the 3-point turn thing a long time ago. They said it was a 3-point turn, then they abandoned that because the 3-point turn doesn't make sense because it would be the other taillight that hit him. Okay? That's number one. But listen to what he says about how this is wild. I mean, this guy's a professor. People pay money to listen to this idiot.
If she did a 3-point U-turn, which meant she backed up like maybe twice, she may have hit him in his chest, and he fell down, and she may have backed over him.
So she hit him in the chest, but he has no bruising on his chest. And then she backed over him. So where was he lying? So he did a 3-point turn and then backed into him. And then is he on the grass? Is he, because he was found 12 feet on the lawn. So he's lying on the pavement or the grass? How does his head get like that? Okay. So, but then she backs over him. So he just waits there. He gets knocked down and he lies there. And she's like, I'm going to finish him off.
He hit his head, and the
Wait, hit his head, the front of his head? Because the wounds are in the back. I don't know if you look, have any of these people done any research? Have they done any research? The wound is in the back of his head? Genius.
Like defensive wounds on his arms may have been from his hand going underneath the bumper, hitting metal, getting scratched. It was probably, something like I'm getting run over, being conscious of what was going on, not being able to do anything about it.
Oh my God.
So I remember getting
so he got his arm scratched by putting his hand went under the car.
Metal, getting scratched.
Got scratched.
Probably, something like I'm getting run over, being conscious of what was going on.
Oh,
not being able to do anything about it.
Oh, so that's he cracked the case, guys. This guy cracked the case. This guy who hasn't read a goddamn thing ever. He's clearly read no court filings. What he's alleging right there has not been alleged by the Commonwealth or the defense. That but he says probably because they put this fucking idiot on YouTube and he goes on here and he spreads misinformation. And it wouldn't be a big deal if he wasn't a goddamn college professor. And these other two are former cops. The fact that anyone this stupid, if you don't think a conspiracy like this can happen, just remember these people were cops. That people this stupid were cops. That should scare all of us. These are some of the dumbest people I've ever heard in my life. I'm significantly smarter than them. So are all of you. So are all of you. You know more about this case than they ever will. This guy's just like it was just put the arms up and then she ran over him and he cut the arms, I guess. He went like this and then it got this side of his arm somehow. Okay. But only this arm, not the other arm. So just this arm. And so then just goes underneath the whole car, I guess. That's what happened. And then it scratched his arm and then somehow blood didn't get on the car somehow. Okay. And then the tail light. I mean, are you listening to these fucking people? Michael Geary, I will give you $1,000 if you come on my show and explain this to me face to face. Do it. You won't. You won't, because I will make you look so stupid, my dude. No one will ever pay to listen to you talk again.
So I remember getting a broken nose, and as you said before earlier, you can get bruising around your eyes. So there's many injuries where you could get.
So actually, I should bring that up. I broke my nose too, and I had to get the surgery for it, right? And you get bruised. You get your eyes. They got black and blue right here. I got pictures of it. They don't look like John O'Keefe. They don't look like John O'Keefe. But I guess the guy got a nose job. That's what he's saying here.
Bruising around the eyes, other than a couple of punches in the face. So,
Okay. So I'm gonna skip over a lot of this because I can't. I'm putting my audience through hell, and I'm gonna go towards closing arguments. Okay, and let me see if I have any more turtle chats to read in the meantime. Got some. Let me bang through some turtle chats. First up, we have Annette, aka A-Rod, sends $50 and says the nutty professor was reading off paperwork in front of him. Dumb and Dumber were talking so much shit she needed cross-eyed. Captain Bill said the chat was toxic and we know nothing because we're going to get to the Piggly Wiggly comment. Captain Bill can take his years of experience and shove it up his ass. I agree. Thank you very much there, A-Rod. Scott sends $28 and says, all please come down and be part of the movement Sunday. It is of great significance. Well, thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. And it is. Mike sends $10 and says, Bukaki and Proctor should be charged with influencing a jury after the stadium situation. That's a good point. What if they were potential jurors? That's interesting. $8 from M says the list of reasons Karen is innocent is longer than Kofrin Dafer's Twitter block list. True. If you think Karen is guilty because she's just a crazy, conniving bitch who killed her boyfriend over a breakup, you're dumb and a massage therapist. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Em. I appreciate that. Ashley sends $5 and says, it's too bad this detective, the old motherfucker, doesn't realize there's a huge difference between petechiae from choking and two black eyes from severe head trauma. I'm embarrassed for him. It's so true. It's so true. These idiots. John sends $25 and says, can something really be called a protest if you're asking for prior approval from the people you're protesting? That's what I said. I'm happy they're doing it. It's just, I'm not a fan of the whole, like, oh, they're letting us do it. But I'm still happy that a statement is being made there. I don't think BLM sat down with the corrupt police chiefs prior to their protests asking for permission. Yeah, but it's two-tier justice system. It is what it is. And the question is, like, if you got arrested, like, I mean, who's paying? The lawyers cost money. Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You want to be in my position? We'll see. So thank you for those donos. Also got a couple cash apps here. One is from, where'd it go? Neil sends $25 and says, next, he was standing on his head. Yeah, watch, that'll happen next. Watch them say that. Okay, cool. Let's get to the closing arguments here and shit on them some more.
The evidence. And that's what in the right direction. Maybe again he was concentrating on what he was doing.
Oh, so they're going to talk about Lucky Loughran here.
You know, they're accusing of murdering him, and they're going to use a little SUV to park in front that hopefully nobody will see anything. So Lucky says he didn't see a body. So I think a lot of people are saying, you know, nobody saw the body because it wasn't there. But I think nobody saw the body. Probably Lucky didn't see it because he was concentrating on the road, concentrating on his plow. You know, I looked up, you wouldn't believe how many mailboxes.
So that's just a completely false statement right there. All right. Completely false statement right there. And we'll bring up Lucky's can cover up Lucky Loughran interview. Okay, let's bring this up. The transcript of the interview. Since we're here to educate Bill, let's just play that one part, what she said again right there about why Lucky didn't see it. Like they're coming up. Remember, Lucky was adamant. There was nobody on the lawn at 2:30.
But I think nobody saw the body. Probably Lucky didn't see it.
Probably.
Because he was concentrating on the road.
That he was concentrating on the road. So she is putting words in Lucky Loughran's mouth. That Lucky Loughran did not see the body because he was concentrating on the road. Let's read the transcript. Let's read the actual transcript of the interview. What was said here? Let's find out what he said. Did you see anything out of the ordinary? No. Did you see a body in the roadway? Or would you, if you had seen a body, would you have called? Absolutely. But that day you didn't see anything suspicious? No. Does that mean to you, definitely, that there was definitely no body there? Or do you think it might have been obstructed by something if you were driving by? Or what's your understanding of it? I saw no body. My truck is high enough with the lights that I would have seen a body. There was nothing obstructing me. There was nothing obstructing me. He couldn't possibly be clearer, guys. He could not possibly be clearer that there was no body on the lawn. Okay? So that's it. They got him. There's not only was there no body, but again, what does she say here? What is her excuse for Lucky? Sorry, I'm going to play one more time.
People are saying, you know, nobody saw the body because it wasn't there. But I think nobody saw the body. Probably Lucky didn't see it because he was concentrating on the road, concentrating on his plow.
Nope. He says otherwise. He says otherwise. He says he was looking left to right the whole time across the road, and that he would have seen it if it was there. And they're just making shit up. They're just lying. Their plan is to take this eyewitness statement, him and Ryan Nagel, their statements are so strong. And their plan is to just be like, well, I think they're wrong. I'm not calling you a liar. I just think you're wrong. I think you didn't see what you thought you saw. I think that is their plan here.
You know, I looked up, you wouldn't believe how many mailboxes are hit by snowplow drivers. It's unbelievable.
You know, everything seems like that's reasonable or unreasonable. But when you're out somewhere, it's 18 degrees out. It's a blinding snowstorm. Everyone's been drinking. People don't have 20/20 vision at that point. And as you said, because the snowplow driver didn't see a body, doesn't mean it wasn't there. He just did not see it. Maybe he didn't look in the right direction.
Okay.
Maybe again he was concentrating on what he was doing. But to use that as just to exclude 100%, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh, okay. So did you say maybe he's drinking? Did he actually say that? No. Like what? So basically these people, like maybe he didn't, like that is their whole plan here, is maybe they didn't do anything, you know? So let's play some more.
Folks, if you're looking for a great attorney and a New York attorney, you can reach Joe on Patience. What it always comes back to is the evidence. And that's what is going to be presented to a jury. And I acknowledge in this case, there's a lot of doubt that the defense can raise. But when a reasonable jury is presented with evidence that backs up certain facts, then I think that, that is what gets convictions, and the doubt is what gets people off. Mike.
Yeah, Billy, people are gonna, they're not attorneys. They're just average people on a jury. And hopefully you have, a good jury foreman, and everybody's going to use their common sense and not go down rabbit holes and conspiracy theories. Because once you do that, the defense has done their job. They're going to get at least one person to say, I don't believe any of the police officers. They're all corrupt and that sort of thing. And, without actually even realizing, well, you have officers from different departments. You have firefighters, you have EMS people, you have all these other people. Are they all in the conspiracy along with the other?
And this is what they always love to point out. Oh yeah.
And
oh yeah, all the people, like the family members, you mean, that don't want to go to jail. Yeah, why would they be in the conspiracy? Right. That's so ridiculous. Right.
And wives and husbands of these people, they're all in the conspiracy? Or is it more likely than not, that this very simple thing occurred, that they had a fight? They were, she was doing a 3-point U-turn. Everyone was intoxicated. Whether she hit him negligently or she was just so angry, she didn't realize what she was doing, she blacked out. What is the most common sense thing that may have happened, using your own common sense judgment about your experiences in life? And hopefully they'll get away from the emotional stuff and they'll come to whatever the decision they come to. Hopefully they'll do it in a very calm, common sense manner.
Absolutely. I think that,
Here we go.
What this could come down
Is this
to
the Piggly
also,
Wiggly comment?
Was he ever in the house? And
Yeah.
that's the defense.
Yeah.
That's the defense.
Yeah.
That he was in the house and you got beaten up in the house. They
Yeah.
threw him out on the. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Oh.
But that is the defense.
How does it make no sense?
Jennifer.
Well, when you don't
Oh,
have an
God.
alibi, right? They can't say she was somewhere else. That's out the window. You have to point the finger in another direction as to who could have caused this
Okay,
death.
she's an idiot.
And which is what the professor initially also discussed. And that's what they're doing. And one of the children of Brian Albert is pictured years ago, by the way, with the EMS worker, because it's
Years
a small
ago?
place.
It was
I
a
think
year
this
ago.
was this big beach party, like end-of-year
Oh, is it
party.
also known as a spring break vacation that they took together? Also known as that. They're that close that they go on spring break together. But according to her, it's just years ago they were at a beach party together. The way they have to explain their close relationship with that is Katie McLaughlin, the firefighter who heard allegedly what Karen said, I hit him, which, by the way, is no one else heard that. And also there's 911 tapes and there's dash cam footage that does not show any of that. None of that happened. And that woman happens to be close friends with Caitlin Albert. And then she stopped working for like a year, by the way.
And interestingly enough, they're trying to say, oh, they were best friends. So that's why the EMS worker is painting this picture. So they're able to sort of try to take their narrative and find items that help support it, like in that case.
Absolutely. So look, one of the things I always like to mention in these cases, of course, is what this case is about. And that's the victim. That's John O'Keefe here in the picture with Karen Reed. By everyone's estimation, a great man, a great police officer, a pillar of his community. Took in his father too. And I always want to mention the victim because that's toxic people in the chat tonight.
Oh, here we go. This is the.
I noticed there's a
Watch
lot
this.
of people. There's
Listen
a
to
real
this.
lot of toxic people
There's
in
a
the chat
toxic
tonight.
people here.
And
Yeah,
you know
toxic.
something? I was a New York City police sergeant.
I was New York City police sergeant. By the way, and it's not toxic just because they disagree with you. There's people in the comments trying to point out facts And he's just like, they're just toxic because they disagree with me and they're pointing out facts. And I guess that makes them toxic to Bill here.
For 27 years, Manhattan North Homicide Squad 10, one of the most elite homicide units in the country. And I see some of these morons in the chat that can't find their ass with two hands, and they're making derogatory comments. Well, go back to your job at Piggly Wiggly, you know, because
Piggly Wiggly.
It's really pathetic.
Like, so if you don't like, if you're following the facts of this case and you're in the comments and you're like, hey, you forgot to mention all this really important stuff, you got to go back to your job at Piggly Wiggly because you're obviously you're a bad person. Like, because people who work at Piggly Wiggly, by the way, they're stupid. That's what he's saying here. This is the most classist thing I've ever heard for this guy to say this. That if you work at a grocery store, if you're a grocery store worker, you are beneath him because you didn't work in the New York City Police Department for 35 years as a homicide inspector. You don't know nothing. Go back to your job at the Piggly Wiggly. I'm the expert here. Sure, I didn't actually read any of the filings because I guarantee this guy did not read any of the filings. He has not read anything about this case. He doesn't know anything about this case. He doesn't know about the Lucky Lochran interview. He doesn't know that. And by the way, they're all under investigation by the FBI. I don't know if that was pointed out to you, but that doesn't happen a lot. Even in the New York City Police Department, the FBI often doesn't investigate district attorneys' offices for corruption. Doesn't happen.
I try to keep my cool with this, but some of these people really annoy me. You know, these online super sleuths, you know, and they keep mentioning the name of someone I won't even.
That's me.
Mention the guy's name.
That's me.
So
like all of a sudden,
this is a tragic case, whichever way you want to slice it. You know that
he won't even mention my name. Yes, in the one yesterday, he's like this Turtleboy guy. Clearly, someone has gotten to him and been like Turtleboy bad, and I think it's the woman sitting next to him. This guy clearly was normal the day before, and then he turned into this Piggly Wiggly and whatever else.
Magic.
And I'm a bad person. You can't even mention my name.
Unfortunately, you know, I think Karen Reed did it, you know, and she's going to go to trial and she'll either be found guilty or innocent. Initially, I thought that, you know, this maybe should have been a manslaughter, but we don't know all the evidence. We don't know all the interaction that the district attorney has from text messages, from cell phone calls, from all that other evidence. And they knocked it up. They kicked it up to murder second degree. So potentially, if she is found guilty, she could get 25 years to life. And that's a lot different than a manslaughter. And manslaughter is potentially you could get convicted and not go to jail at all. Mike.
Yeah, Billy, I think initially people really did think this may have been a manslaughter case because there's many kinds of case where people engage in DWI and maybe someone's injured or killed. But I think later on, as you get into and start to realize some of the interactions within that couple, and the fact that the reverse camera was working that night in the car, they know it was working. They tested it. They're now looking at that murder charge. I think if you are on that jury and you're a little queasy about saying she intentionally murdered him because there was a fight and she saw him in the back of the car and she just ran him over, if you're queasy about that, you may go for a manslaughter conviction. That may be a compromise, I think, verdict rather than complete acquittal. Or murder. I think a jury may settle on something like a manslaughter.
How what another stupid comment. She's not going to get a manslaughter. They're alleging that he was backed into going 24 miles an hour. That's not manslaughter. That's cold-blooded murder. You fucking moron. Like, I've never seen someone less prepared than this guy. And this guy gets paid to teach people about criminal justice. He's a criminal justice professor. I would rather listen to this. I'd rather listen to Kevin from Yellow Cottage Tales. Let me pull this up real quick. Someone sent this to me. I gotta play. People are like, you gotta play this. Let me play this.
Who the plow driver was, I don't know. But it's really, there's no excuse for not tracking. Clearly the street was plowed because the taillight pieces were put, were sorry, I have to get a cough drop because like I said, who the plow driver was, I don't know. But it's really, there's no excuse for not tracking. Clearly, the street was plowed because the taillight pieces were put.
Wait, the taillight pieces were what, Kevin? Did he say the taillight pieces were put? They were put. Did you hear that?
Who the plowed driver was, I don't know. But it's really, there's no excuse for not tracking. Clearly, the street was plowed because the taillight pieces were put.
Oh, they were put. They were put there. Apparently, this footage has disappeared. It's just gone. So there's Kevin from Yellow Cottage Jail. So anyway, I just thought I'd roast these people because they deserve to be roasted. And yeah, that's about it. Okay. Anyone have any questions they want to ask me? That little ass Turtleboy. Let me read a couple donos here. We got Turtle Chat here from Chelsea. Chelsea sends $10 and says, today is my birthday. Happy birthday, Chelsea. And she goes, I had a rough day, but I'm super happy to be ending it with the Turtleboy live show. And I hope you and your family have a fantastic Christmas and happy upcoming birthday to you as well. Well, Chelsea, I hope you had a happy, I'm sorry that your birthday wasn't whatever happened, made it rough, but I'm happy that I could bring some sunshine to the end of your day and give you some entertainment. And that means a lot that I can cheer you up like that. And she says, I hope you and your family have a fantastic Christmas. And I hope you do as well, Chelsea. And I hope all Turtle Riders do as well, because I love you guys. And happy birthday, Chelsea. We love you. Okay. Thank you very much. We also have here a Cash App. I think I have a Cash App. I thought I saw one come in here. From a couple here. Jen sends $10 and says, for the woman harassed by Tully. Thank you very much. Yeah. Who told Tully to fuck off. A lot of women have been harassed by Brian Tully. So thank you very much. Natalie sends $20. Not that Natalie, a different Natalie, sends $20. No comment, but I appreciate the dono, Natalie. Okay, cool. If anyone else wants to donate, the link is at the top for Turtle Chat or Cash at me at $ Uncle Turtle Boy. All right. Anyone have any questions they want to ask me? Fire away on this Tuesday evening. He endorsed Nikki Haley over Ron DeSantis. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh. Does that even matter? Does anyone, I can't decide who to vote for until Chris Sununu tells me to. Oh, the Celtics. Nice. Oh. The wedding brawl. Oh, the Piggly Wiggly's here. Nice. Yeah. Do you think this? I think they're going to have a few motions. They still haven't filed a motion to dismiss. That's got to be coming, right? I don't think it'll be granted, but they got to file one, right? I like how they act like more evidence that is produced of her innocence somehow merits an upgrade. I know. It's so wild. Yes, reminder for Star Drive-In. Thank you very much. On December 14th. I'll remind me to make a post about that tomorrow on Facebook. How's my stuff in court moving along? We're filing something for the SJC right now. Yeah, check out earlier. I explained the update with Krusty Panties earlier. She's got some issues she's gonna have to deal with. Would you have Kevin on your show again to discuss? No, because he is a moron. Yeah, what? Okay, anyone else? Is my lawyer on tomorrow? Yes, he's on with the Young Jerks. So check out Attorney Bradle tomorrow on the Young Jerks. Should be interesting. How does my free speech compare to Michelle Carter's? Well, I didn't tell anyone to get back in a car and kill themselves. So there's that. Have you thought about a spaces discussion on Twitter? I've done spaces on Twitter. It's stupid. It's like there's no face. It's stupid. I don't like it at all. Not a fan. I've done a couple. Not a fan. Yes, Bill Cannon is hereby invited to come on my show, or I will go on his, if he actually wants to have a discussion about this, an intelligent discussion about this, instead of just demeaning people and saying that they work at the Piggly Wiggly, because I'm sure I will be accused now of attacking or harassing. I'm not the one that said people work at the Piggly Wiggly. I didn't say that. But yeah, Sean the Golf can come on whenever he wants. Sure, absolutely. Does he even comment? I never see him comment. He's on Twitter a lot, but do you think do you think the prosecution has any mind-blowing evidence that will be revealed in March? No. Okay. All right. So I guess that's about it. Thank you guys for joining me. And we will see you guys. Thanks all for the donos and everything and the support. I love you guys. It wouldn't be shit without you. And we'll see you guys all for the next episode of Turtleboy Live on Saturday night. And we'll see the Turtle Club Sex Cult people on Thursday. Peace, Turtle Riders.